So we have one other option. So we had the option to go towards the hips to the mat and the berimbolo. We had the option to go towards the wader sweep by knocking Mish out and getting underneath. The other main option we've got is to go to shallow K-guard and then look to chop through to backside 50-50. Okay, so this is usually, I mean, you can look for this as your main attack if you want. You can have, like, when you get here, you look to go shallow K, and especially if you're really hunting a heel hook, that's probably one of the best options to go for from here. Or you can do it kind of at selective times, right? So I often find, let's say Mish is holding my legs and he's kind of managed to get this point where he's static. So kind of step back a little bit, kind of back this way with your, yes, yeah. It kind of gets to this point here where I don't feel like I can off balance him, and he's also too far for me to take him to wader. And I feel like actually trying to do that will often, if he gets to this point where he's static there and I can't move him, sometimes it can be, I can leave myself vulnerable attacking either of those too much. Okay, so if we're in this static position, that's often a great time to look for the shallow K-guard. So I need to get an underhook. Obviously, the key, or the thing we need to worry about here is as I go to underhook, he can run away and step out. So before I go underhook, I'm going to grip the knee. So I'm holding the ankle first, which stops him running away. Grip the back of the knee, and I sit up a little bit. Okay, I sit up into it. Right. Now, if Mish tries to run away, he can't. That gives me room to pummel my arm underneath. Right, let's just turn a little. So I reach to the back of the knee. He can't run. Now I pummel my underhook deep underneath. So I've got my knee pressuring against the knee. This is very deep around the ankle. And now if Mish tries to run away, I've got two things stopping that now. The underhook and the grip here. You have to be a little careful here though, because I have two issues I need to deal with. The two main issues are Mish could run and bolt and free. So if I'm just holding this, he might free his foot. Right? But he also here can stack and push forward and put his knee down here, which is not that good either for me to occur, right? I actually want to keep his shin somewhat vertical. So you're going to have to be managing that. If you get your underhook good enough, it should be that if Mish tries to turn and run, I can start to attach to his leg, okay? So that means my hook here at the back of the knee is not as important. I'd use it if you feel like they're trying to run, but if you feel like they're trying to pressure forward, I'm going to push with my hand at the knee here. So now when Mish tries to come forward and stack me, I'm blocking that, and it gives me room to get my shallow K position. So at first, I'm holding the back of the knee, and my own knee is pushing against that if I can. So if he tries to drive forward, I've got a little bit of pressure against it. But if I feel like he really is driving forward, I'm going to block the knee. I push off that hand to move my hips away. So I now want to take my foot to the outside of the knee and my hips away, like this. My knee must go from the outside of his leg to the inside of his leg, like this. Okay. So this is the shallow K-guard position. We do cover that in the K-guard section, what we can do from here. Obviously, just be wary on this entry. The big risk is that Mish runs away and frees his foot. Okay. So if he's trying to do that, it's really important I have a good curl here. I want to be connecting my hands and pretty much have one elbow at the ankle and the other elbow at the knee, stopping Mish turning out. Okay, so if he turns out this way, he can't. But also, if he tries to run, this gap here needs to close. So can you see the gap between my elbow and my chest? As he goes to run, I want to close that. Now he's kind of trapped. If he goes to run here, it should drag me along the mat and I don't lose the grip. So from De La Riva, got that static De La Riva position. I'm going to reach to the back of the knee, underhook the leg deep, and then I'm going to block the knee. This helps me move my hips away. Make sure your hips, it's kind of like an invert, so your head comes in and your hips away. My knee drops on the inside, foot to the outside. So I don't want Mish to turn his knee out. That's probably the other one I didn't talk about. If he turns that way, I can't chop behind his knee. So I want to make sure I'm pressuring with my knee and my hands, twisting and rotating his knee. So if he tries that, that's difficult. If he tries to pressure forward here, well, I've already got my knee in front now, but earlier I could be blocking that, like so. And if he tries to run, I am pulling tight like this. Okay. Obviously, once we're there, talk about this more in the K-guard section, but we're going to lift our hips up high through and drag the knee line back with this hug, pulling the knee through, or we can triangle our legs and look to catch the heel or finish. All right, let's have a look at some shallow K-guard entries and a time when we can use these. So often a good time is when your opponent's trying to push your leg down, and it really, like if I'm really looking to leg lock someone, then I'm going to play a lot of shallow K-guard. If I'm looking to take the back, I'm going to be more looking to get their hips to the mat or go towards the waiter position. So the shallow K is kind of isolating yourself into trying to force a 50-50 for the leg lock, or potentially to sweep from there, but it's great for forcing the backside 50-50. So just your motivation for going there, you have to understand what you're trying to do against your opponent. So from here you can see I've got the underhook on the leg. So I happen to do that just without reaching to the back of the knee, which is uncommon actually. I must have just felt that the leg was quite stable and I had a chance to actually reach under. Okay, see, I swing my hips out, and actually this one tends to work really well against taller people. Actually, the taller they are, the more space you have to spin around. And you can see now I'm pushing that knee, trying to block the knee coming forward, but the key is those hips coming out, right? That's really important. Okay, so you can see I move those hips away. Just watch them once more. Hips swinging away, head coming in. So head comes in, hips away. And now I've got my knee to the ground, foot to the outside. I can start to set up attacks. All right. Now, a few options from here. I'm not really going to go into offense. We can check the K-guard section for what to do from the shallow K position. Okay. But this one ended up in me switching back to a regular K-guard. Here we are at the ADCC trials in 2019. You can see I've got De La Riva now on my right leg. I'm framing here. I'm going to reach to the back of the knee in a moment. Okay, so you can see my left foot's keeping distance. Left hand reaches to the back of the knee. Right hand's going to now underhook. So I've just got my underhook. And then I can start to connect my
drop my hips out. Now I didn't actually go, I kind of like bypassed the shallow K position, which I wouldn't do these days. So this was a more dangerous. I actually think if my opponent was good with the berimbolo, he could have countered me there. So, well, maybe he is, but at least in that scenario he didn't. But you can see I get the underhook and I bring my hips away. In a moment, there we are, good. But I actually took my whole foot out. This is what I wouldn't do now. I'd still keep my foot on the outside so I could start to work towards the backside 50-50. Here we are against Tom. Tom has excellent base on top. He's very hard to off balance. He loves to pass standing, so I've reached to the back of the knee, which allows me to change my hand as an underhook and then push on that knee. Notice the space that's given me. Okay, so by pushing his knee, he might be holding my foot, but if I can swing my hips out, that's going to still free my knee. So even though he's got my foot, my knee can free back and my foot goes towards the outside. He's still holding that, so I think I connect my hands together just to secure the position with pressure of my foot on the outside of the knee. All right, we'll just watch that one once more. So you'll see me push the knee and that pushes Tom's. I push the knee and that pushes Tom's leg back and allows my hips to come out into that space. Okay, once my hips get out, there we go. Then I can start getting a good lock with my hands. Here against Lachlan, another Lachlan. So you'll probably see less clips generally of me doing that, of the newer clips of me using this. It's not because it's bad, I'm just working more towards the bowler. So a lot of the footage I'm chasing the berimbolo and the hips to the mat, but in reality I really like this entry too. So I think you should mix this together more. Just don't be kind of off-put by the fact you don't see as much of me using that. That's just because my focus at the moment is on adding some different options to my game, and I think the bowler is a really good one. So here you can see I kind of failed that one, but this time I managed to get in, connect my hands, and get my hips out. Notice the hips coming out was what got that foot into place for the actual position. So when my hips move away here, there we go. Now I've got the shallow K-guard position, and I can start working to chop. Summary of our options from De La Riva as a whole. Okay, so first off, to enter De La Riva, the main two ways are I'm either gripping the back of the knee, scooting in, getting my outside hook, and I'm now in De La Riva. Or often I've got my feet up, defending Kaya's grips, and I can start scouring with my hand, collect the leg, and go to here. Right. Other ways might be from cross knee through position, reverse De La Riva, and we then swing and change into the De La Riva position. From De La Riva, my main movement I'm going to look for is to get the hips to the mat. There's 3 attacks: hips to the mat, shallow K-guard, and the waiter. The hips to the mat and the waiter work really well together, and the shallow K-guard kind of comes when we're a little blocked and we can't get either of those to go. Okay, so I'm going to be sitting up, scooting around the corner, trying to work hips to the mat. If I can get Kaya's hips down, we look for the berimbolo. There's a whole bunch of things we can work for here, but the main thing being that if he's seated up like this, I roll through, I get this hook across the far armpit, and I'm going to throw him over the top. If he lies back down, I shoot into the wedge, and I use this wedge action to take the back. If Kaya steps back, instead of getting his hips to the mat, okay, I'm going to start reaching for the far leg, starting to shoot behind, go into the baby bowler, into this standing crab ride position, and look for the back there. Anytime Kaya is countering me, circling around by stepping, I can make him step wide. If I've made him step wide, if he stays standing like this, then I'm going to reach to the ankle, start working to modified X-guard, and get up. If we get to that same spot, but he drops down to his knee, then I'm going to roll back into the waiter position and upgrade my position. Lastly, often maybe Kaya's like kind of step back a little bit and he's holding my legs and it's very difficult to get around the corner or reach to that far leg. Often this is a good time to start to underhook, hips come out, and start looking for shallow K-guard and getting into backside 50-50.
it.